What are the pros and cons of self-publishing versus traditional publishing? And what do you need to know when you're going down the path to publish your book? Hi, and welcome to First Editing. Today we're talking about traditional publishing versus self-publishing. Remember to click and subscribe to the button so you can easily get more expert advice like this. So, first off, what is self-publishing? Self-publishing is when you go ahead and you produce your entire book by yourself. That includes the editing, the formatting, the proofreading, the book cover design, the publishing, the marketing, the book launch, and you do it all on your own expenses there. So as an independent or indie author, you should be prepared to cover all of those activities and know that you're going to take care of those personally. You will not have an agent. When you are self-published, you own the intellectual property, the copyright, the authorship, plus all the royalties that come with it. That's one of the advantages of being a self-published author. So now the content of your manuscript remains your property regardless of who owns the ISBN, the International Standard Book Number. So of course, if you're using a book publishing service, you need to be careful and read the fine print of your contract to make sure that they do not own your intellectual property. And although you're in charge of all these different steps in the journey to self-publishing, it does not mean you're alone. It simply means you need to reach out to other experts to assist you in all of the different stages of the process to get your book to publication. Now, who should self-publish? Well, somebody who wants to maintain full creative control. This is an ideal choice for you. It allows you to get your book to market as fast as possible, much faster than traditional publishing. And what are the pros and cons of self-publishing? Well, as I mentioned, one of the first pros is you have full creative control of your book. Secondly, you want to remember you can get your book to market much faster. And finally, because you paid for all the expenses up front, you're going to earn higher royalties in the long run for each book sold. So regards to the cons, well, of course, there's all those upfront costs, the editing, formatting, book design, cover design, publishing, all of the marketing, and the book logistics. That's all on you. Royalties are often an important issue in comparing traditional versus self-publishing. So royalties are the amount of money you receive for each book sold. If you're an independent author who's self-published, you are going to retain all of the dispersed royalties for yourself. These are the royalties generated after the actual cost for book distribution. So traditionally, Amazon keeps 30 to 40%, and that means that remaining 60 to 70%, it's yours. And that's about 50% more than traditional publishers provide in royalties. So of course, the more marketing and the better sales you can do, the more money you will make. So that's all to your benefit. And if you don't have to split any of this with the publishing house, so that's definitely a plus. Strategy and hard work will pay off if you're good at marketing and selling your book, especially if you have a built-in audience such as your mailing list. So what is traditional publishing? Traditional publishing is where you go to one of the big publishing houses and they produce your book for you. Traditional publishing is when you get an agent who will go on your behalf and they're going to initiate the contract between you and the publishing house. The publishing house will often pay in advance, but not always. And they will then edit, format, design the book cover, market, and publish all on your behalf and at their expense. If you paid upfront in advance, they paid you that. Of course, it's considered your first initial payment. Now, when your book sales exceed the advance, then you'll receive a portion of the remaining royalties. And traditional publishing is ideal for those who want validation and honor and recognition of publishing with a traditional publishing house. Being traditionally published requires you to report to a great many more people. Theoretically, traditional publishing requires a lot less work on your own individual behalf. To be traditionally published, you do need an agent, and they will negotiate that contract on your behalf. They're paid for their services afterwards as part of the contract. So basically, your agent keeps a cut for their finder services along with the negotiations they did for you and that they provided. I do want to mention that this particular agent service does add to the time it takes to get your book actually published. So you're going to be editing and writing according to your house editors. their timelines and your publishing house timelines. So you've got a lot more people to answer to there. And they may ask you to make a lot of revisions and changes to your book because now they're the owners of this particular manuscript. Additionally, they're going to expect you to contribute to the marketing. So although a publishing house does have a large budget for marketing, it doesn't necessarily mean you are going to get the benefits of that large budget. They're going to put all their marketing money towards the books they know are going to get them a good return on their investment. So be prepared to help out to ensure that your book succeeds. I have one thing I do want to mention here. Traditional publishers do not ask you to pay for these services. So traditional publishing does not require any upfront costs. Traditional publishing is covered by the publishing house. When self-publishing, you cover all the costs. So that's the two differences there. Now, there are other forms of publishing somewhere in the middle, such as hybrid publishing or vanity publishing, they call it. And they do ask you to pay for the cost up front. They do keep some of the ownership of your book. So you need to be aware and always read the fine print should you go that route. Self-publishing is the best for those with authors with time, energy, and money who want to be in control. Alternatively, traditional publishing is for a competent author who's seeking an agent for promotion. In traditional publishing, you need to be comfortable with the long publishing time because there's so many people involved in this process. So what are the pros and cons of traditional publishing? Well, we have the advance. That's definitely one of the pros. It's an upfront advance payment, which is normally $10,000 to $15,000, and it's of course cash, which we all love. The advance is your full payment until the book is published. Of course, once the publishing house covers the advance costs, then you'll get more of the royalties. This hopefully comes later. One of the cons of traditional publishing is the time required, and I keep mentioning this as it takes 2 to 3 years after querying to actually get to the published book stage. Another con is the book is technically no longer yours. The publishers control production and they don't guarantee your book will actually be published. So sales teams, they don't always help and they will expect you to kick in when it comes to marketing. So donating your audience list is expected and they can help you succeed as a published author. I do recommend that. In conclusion, self-publishing, traditional publishing are two completely different routes. And either way, I encourage you to proceed and enjoy the process of becoming a successful published author. If you're looking for traditional publishing, remember to ask yourself exactly why are you doing this? And if you're self-publishing, make sure you're aware of the entire process so you can complete it to your best advantage. When you need editing, just contact us at firstediting.com. We'll be glad to help you. We provide a free editing sample and we will confirm when you are ready to proceed to the publishing stage. So remember to subscribe and follow. We'll have more information for you about editing and publishing here on YouTube, our podcast, and the website. Thanks for watching.